Hi guys, my name is Nick. I'm here with GosuGamers.net, and we're here with Firebat just off his win in the Hearthstone World Champion opening weekend. Firebat, you 3-0'd with a pretty sick version of Miracle Rogue. How does that feel?
It feels amazing. Feels really good. Get all the butterflies out. Get the first win. Feels great.
and you know, you guys obviously you weren't here, but because he won one round, that means he's going to BlizzCon for sure. And you just found that out now, right?
Yeah, I just found that out. I thought I had to play again today, so that's really cool. Smiles
all around. So let me ask you, I guess, about your version of the Miracle Rogue, or it's not your version, but the one that you're playing. Is that just a meta call, or do you think that's really the best version of the deck there is now?
It's the best version that fits into my lineup of decks. Like, all of my decks were created around each other, and I think that's the way you have to really make a set to go into a series. So
yeah, so we've heard that similar, I guess, logic from some of the other players. Tell me about which decks you chose to ban, and again, if that's just a meta call for this, or do you think it's overall a good strategy that your bans were?
The strategy behind my bans, well, coming into the entire thing, my ban strategy was to make my decks as flexible as possible so I could choose whatever I wanted to ban to counter ban what they ban. But that means I need to be able to figure out what they're going to ban just from looking at their set. And looking at my opponent's set, I thought he was going to ban Rogue. And if he banned Rogue, then he could just crush me with Priest because it beat all of my decks besides Rogue. But I ended up banning Hunter because I thought he would think that I knew that. So he thought I would ban the Priest, and then he would ban my Hunter, which means my ban's basically useless because the Hunter's the best deck with the no Priest. So I ended up banning his Hunter, and then he banned my Hunter, and then I got the better of him there. So
yeah, and honestly, that was kind of it. You just kind of destroyed him 3-0. It was tough to watch. Let me ask you, what do you think right now is the most powerful deck? And I guess you said you prefer the more versatile decks, but what do you think is the most powerful deck that someone could say, you know what, I want to climb the ladder and I want to start playing this game at like a competitive level? What should I start with?
Zoo. Zoo is one of the most powerful decks in the game because of the way that it functions. It functions by constantly playing minions and constantly trying to hit a curve. And mathematically, your odds of hitting your curve are way better than your opponent's odds of hitting the answers. Because your opponent's looking for specific removal cards, and there's not as many removal cards as there are minions. So you can play a minion every single turn, and they have to get their removal to line up. Otherwise, you can just overwhelm them. So
yeah, that's kind of the whole concept of threats versus answers, and it's always better to have the threats. Because if you have the answer, then you're just equal. But if you don't have the answer, you're behind. That kind of thing. Let me see. We talk about the card. Yeah, this is something that I've been meaning to ask people. What do you think is the best neutral card that should be in every deck?
I don't think there's one that should be in every single deck. Depends on like the style of deck, but yeah, that's a really tough question. Yeah. There's so many different neutral cards that are good for different purposes. Recently, Ironbeak Owl's been getting a lot of play in tons of decks, even control decks, just because it can react really quickly to aggressive decks, and people are using it as another answer. So, as like removal, basically. So, all of the minions with battle cries that can be used as removal are going to have a lot higher value in this meta because everybody's starting to play more aggressive decks.
Okay. With that said, is there any particular player that you would prefer not to face, that based on his skill level and his or her deck selection?
I want to verse the best players. That's why I'm here. So there's nobody I'm afraid of, and I want to play whoever is the best. That's who I want to play next.
Hey, that sounds awesome. Well, hey man, do you have any words or any shout-outs you might want to make to your fan base?
Shout out Team Archon. Follow us on Twitter, and then follow me on Twitch, twitch.tv/hero_Firebat.
Cool. All right. There you have it. Very confident man. Is happy he's going to BlizzCon. Hey man, it was awesome.
Thanks.
Awesome interview there. Yeah. This was Nick, GosuGamers.net. Thanks for watching.